Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. We are back at my test pad here at Electrical Island, and we are going to talk about the exclusive NOR gate today. Now, quick word: this area is just where I demonstrate stuff rather than actually building an entire settlement here. So, if you're interested in actual settlement builds, there's plenty of those on my channel, but I try to give some little seeds for ideas like that store over there or this target range over here. And what I have set out to do is tutorialize every logic gate and give at least a few practical applications in the vanilla game using just that one gate in a couple of different ways. And I really struggled with the exclusive NOR gate on this one, to the point where I am not pleased with how this video came out, but excuse me, I am frankly stumped at a way to use this practically in isolation. Exclusive NOR gates are just like NOT gates in that they are really intended to use with additional logic gates chained together. And in fact, the demo that I'm going to show here today would be just as easily accomplished by hooking the switches straight to what they are designed to control. But we can at least watch the exclusive NOR gate in action and gain an understanding of how it works, so that when we start to chain logic gates together in future more advanced tutorials, we'll have an innate understanding of what exclusive NOR does. So what I've got for my demonstrator or my today is I have a penthouse bar. Now, like I said earlier, this area is just seeds of ideas. So let's pretend that this is a penthouse on a much larger structure rather than something that's standing in isolation and looking kind of faintly ridiculous up there like that. And this bar is going to have several modes of operation. Now, I think that if I was doing this for myself, I would probably use a clock switch out of advanced settlement power for some of these functions and kind of have all this stuff happening automatically. As it is, I wanted to do these tutorials vanilla, and that somewhat limits what we can do. If we're going to use manual switches of some kind, this is about the extent of what we can do with just an XNOR gate and one other logic gate. Now, this bar is going to have multiple modes of operation. Right now we're going to say, you know what, it's between 6 in the morning and 11 in the morning, and we want the elevator to be inactive because the bar is closed, and we want all the advertising and lights up top to be off. And then we're going to say that it's going to be 11 in the afternoon till, say, 7 at night. Well, we don't need lights on during that time of frame. You're welcome, settler. But we do want the elevator to be active so that people can get in and out of the bar. You know, not decorated or anything, just, like I said, sketching out some ideas here. And after about 7 o'clock, the bartender might like to go ahead and have all of his stuff on and have his advertising on and his lights on inside the bar, because now it's getting to be towards evening, that stuff is going to show up. So the bar is hopping from 7 o'clock at night to, say, 3 in the morning. And at that point, bartender says it's last call, everybody has to go home, and kicks everybody out, but he wants the lights on because he's going to do cleanup. So that is the kind of final mode of operation here, where we've got the lights on in there, but the elevator is disabled. And if you're paying close attention, you probably looked at that and said, Nacho, why didn't you just hook the switches to the lights in the elevator? And you would be right to ask that question. Interesting thing about the exclusive NOR gate, though, is that unlike a NOT gate, you can hook an exclusive NOR to a switch and still have it work. Now, they don't work by themselves in isolation. You have to have another logic gate for this to really do anything other than an AND gate. In a setup like this, where we've just got power and two switches and an output, this is just an AND gate, because we can turn one on, nothing happens, turn two on, and the light turns on, turn one off, and the light turns off. It is exactly the way an AND gate would work. But what we can do with exclusive NOR is we can hook a switch to this, and we can also hook an additional logic gate to it. Now, the reason why this is, see, this gate is true right now, but with no power in the stack and no logic gate connected to it, that light just turns off. So we have to have another logic gate hooked to this exclusive NOR for this output to power when the inputs are off. Let me step through what we've got here. This is exactly the same setup as I've got on the bar there. Over there, it's just a little bit easier to follow. So right now, we've got input power on this AND gate and this switch on the AND gate. So we can turn the AND gate output on and off with this left switch. And that AND gate is running our turret, or in the case of the bar over there, our elevator. So we've got a turret, and in this instance we have our XNOR gate that is also hooked to another switch in the AND gate. Both inputs on the XNOR are live. You can see that's green and that's green, so that's live. So the output's live, and our lights inside the bar are working. If we turn the first switch off, now we've got a new configuration here where the output of the AND is off because this is controlling that AND gate, and we have one hot input and one dead input on the XNOR, so the output is dead. If we have both switches off, now we've got a situation where this is the situation where the XNOR is finally useful. After all of this, I am 10 minutes into this video before I finally found a time where XNOR was actually useful. What we've got going on here is the AND gate is off, right? Because we've got power that's on all the time, the switch is off, AND gate's off, and then both of the inputs to XNOR are off. So you can see that that circle around the input is dark, and yet the output is live. If I did this with a switch instead of an AND gate, that output would be dark. There has to be a logic gate in front of XNOR for the input to be dead and the output to be live. It's the only way it works. And that is somewhat similar to a NOT or NOR gate, except that a NOT or NOR gate cannot have a switch hooked to it in any way. Now, the last configuration here was, I think we already did that one, and then I think the last one was this configuration where both of the outputs are off. Man, that is complicated. It is hard to understand, and it's hard to use in a simple way. I think I said at the top of the video that I was not all that pleased with how this one came out, and that is because of my constraints that I have with saying that I want to be vanilla for these tutorials, and I want to minimize stacking logic gates for these introductory tutorials. We can find uses for the XNOR gate, but they require more advanced builds. So I hope this at least helps you understand how XNOR works and will allow you to use it in your own more advanced builds. And hopefully later, when I get back to doing some more advanced tutorials beyond just these introductories to logic gates, we will find some better uses for the XNOR gate. If you're still here and you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more, I promise my other logic gate tutorials are far more useful than this one. Be sure to subscribe. I've got an upcoming tutorial on the exclusive OR gate that I think is going to be pretty cool. If you didn't like, please tell me why in the comments so that I can try and do better for you next time. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it and not use XNOR.